right now.
Nice.
I have a very blue neon light behind me and a very highlighter yellow book behind me, and
Okay.
it's making it look like we're like in a putt-putt golf. I almost called it a putt-putt golf arena, like it's some type of fucking gladiatorial arena. Meet me at the putt-putt arena. You have dishonored me. But there should be putt-putt arenas. I don't know how it works, but someone should make it. Like you have to
tonight's ruining movies. Ip Man with putt-putt.
Ip Man 5 putt-putt. There is like 30 Ip Mans.
That's what I've heard.
I was like looking through it. I know like there's like the general like 1 through 4, and then there's like prologues, and then there's like before prequels.
Okay.
And then I don't know.
Huh.
It's there's a lot of them, which I understand why there's a lot of them, because as we'll talk about it, the first one ruled.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah, so it's time to do a podcast. Is there like a verb for podcasting? Is that a verb?
We're podcasters. We podcast. We do some podcasting on the side.
We cast to the pods.
Here. I cast here. I cast there.
Are podcasts named after like iPods?
I
know this as someone who has a podcast.
I always thought that's what it was.
It has to be, because like what else would it mean? Like a pod of whales?
Ear pods. I'm casting them to your ear pods.
We're casting them out to the ear pods. If you guys didn't realize, this is a movie podcast. Hi everyone, and welcome to Ruining Movies. I'm your host Zach, and all along with me, doing martial arts and perfect choreography, defeating all the kung fu masters, is my co-host Shayne. Hello.
Hello. I'm
Hello.
co-host Shayne.
Co-host.
I do not know real martial arts.
Neither of us do. I had a yellow belt when I was like 12. That's as far as I ever made it. So I do not know how.
His pants in class.
Yeah, that's where I got the yellow belt. Obviously, not actually ranked. I did do karate, which we learned in this movie. If you do karate, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, you might not want to do karate in this movie.
Which was pretty cool. For anyone new here, this is Ruining Movies. We watch a movie every week, and then we ruin it by changing the genre, making it a prequel, sequel, or a remake. This week, if you couldn't tell, we are doing Ip Man, the super cool martial arts film that came out, I think, in 2009. Is literally the only piece of information I didn't write down. It either came out in 2008 or 2009.
I think it's 2008.
Yeah.
I just watched it today.
Nice. I watched it last night and then like 2 nights before that. So we were talking about Ip Man, but before we get into that and before we get into ruining that, I think there's 2 trailers that we were pretty excited to talk about. One, everyone, I have a new segment that Shayne doesn't even know about.
I don't even know about it.
He doesn't even know. We're bringing chaos. It's 2022. I'm bringing chaos into this podcast by adding new segments without telling Shayne what it is. It's going to be fun, though. So let's start off with this trailer that you sent me, I think 2 days ago. The trailer is for a new Korean zombie television series called All of Us Dead. It looks...
All of Us Are Dead.
Is it All of Us Are Dead?
Yes.
That makes a lot more sense than All of Us Dead. I thought it was just a translation mistake. All of Us Dead. All of Us Are Dead, which is a new, like I said, Korean zombie television series coming to Netflix at the end of the month. First glimpse, first opinions, Shayne. What do you think? After watching
very
this?
Excited.
Me too.
Very excited. I think this is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased because Train to Busan's like one of my all-time favorite movies. Not even
it rules.
movie.
It rules.
It's just so cool. And it was mentioned by name in the trailer, so it's clear that they know what their competition is. So
I think it's clear to say, like at this point in time in 2022, South Korean zombie films are the best type of zombie films, like in the last 30 years. There's nothing that compares to them. Train to Busan, which, like you said, they referenced in this trailer, which was awesome. There was that other TV show called Kingdom, which was like historical zombies, which was really cool. I think #Alive and Happiness were also 2 zombie Korean films.
I like the live, and I've been watching Sweet Home, which
I don't know what that is.
It's not zombies necessarily, but I'm pretty sure it's Korean.
Is it a Korean drama?
It's no, it's a Korean horror. Or
dude,
we're about to find out.
I think
it was really good.
This might be like, tell me in the comments if I'm wrong, or yell at me on Twitter, but I feel like Parasite and then Squid Games have really opened the floodgates, and even Train to Busan, to like South Korean film and media in like to America. And like I know South Korean films has always been great. I mean, my personal favorite artist of all time is Namjoon Paik, and he's from South Korea. So like I've always known they're like really great at making films. I mean, most people around the world are. They have but I don't know. I think we're in this like new era of like Korean media being like the number one thing. I know there was K-pop, but now like after Squid Game and Parasite and Train to Busan, feels like we're gonna just be like get a lot of it, and I'm here for it.
It's exploding, man, and I'm along for the ride as well. It turns out Sweet Home is South Korean apocalyptic horror, and it was it's interesting. But anyway, yeah, no, I agree. For me personally, it wasn't Squid Game that originally exposed me to South Korean horror, but like I know that it was the first exposure for a lot of people. So, you know, welcome to the universe. Enjoy yourself.
Right, exactly.
It's gonna be fun.
Throw those subtitles on. It's gonna be good. There was a comment I saw, I think on Twitter, talking about this trailer that like kind of had this like hypothesis. Oh, wow, that was a word I couldn't say. This hippopotamus. About why Korean zombie films like kind of feel more intense and personal, and I didn't even think about this until then. So if whoever said this online, I'm crediting you. I just can't remember your username. I don't think that's how crediting works, but they said that Korean zombie films usually feel more personal because there's a lack of guns in Korea.
True.
Which like there's still like a very like prevalent military force, but like it's not like America where zombies happen and everyone's lock and loaded in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, there's a zombie in my backyard. Get him!
Yeah, everyone's like, you can even go with like I think 30 Days Later and like Shaun of the Dead. Also, like no one was really like had a lot of guns in it.
Like the British zombie movies do the same thing.
Yeah,
like you said, Shaun of the Dead. There was like no guns.
They used the cricket bat.
28 Days Later. What was there, like one gun?
28 Days Later. I don't know why I said 30.
Two movies, there was like one gun.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like also like one of like 28 Days Later and what is it, 28 Weeks Later? Did they ever do months?
No.
Three, like those movies are like, I would probably rank them as like some of the scariest zombie films.
Dude, they're up there.
They're terrifying. So I thought that was very interesting. I didn't think of that. I also wanted to talk about like, so I feel like in the 2000s and the 90s there was like this thing where like zombie media wouldn't reference the word zombie, like
Zack Snyder's
exactly Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Walking Dead didn't never call them zombies.
True.
There was another like big zombie thing. Maybe it was like Left 4 Dead, like the game that called them like Zeds or something.
Probably Z Nation. They didn't even call them zombies, and it was fucking called Z Nation. I'm
totally cool with this like television show being like it's like Train to Busan. There's zombies. I kind of like that. I kind of like a world that exists where zombies are real and zombies are happening. I like this.
Why is it happening to us?
Yeah, I like the self-referential like media type. So I'm kind of glad we're out of that era of like those aren't zombies, those are the undead. They also did that with like werewolves and like vampires too during that period.
It's a walking dog.
The dog's on two legs. Oh my god.
So on the note of Netflix and foreign media at the same damn time, two things. Number one, I guess Netflix is raising their price.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know by how much, but that it sucks.
It's like gonna be like $20 a month or something. I don't fucking know.
I better not be. It's gone then.
So I hear this, right? And then I'm just thinking to myself, like, is is this a justifiable cost? And I see what Netflix is trying to do. So on the note of foreign media, like Netflix is responsible for like it's got to be like 90% of Americans' exposure to foreign media. They're like
Yeah.
they are like
You're not
a
wrong.
funnel. You know, you can get it from everywhere. I've watched a bunch of stuff from all over, and and I haven't really been disappointed. Like everything's been fantastic.
Yeah.
So, you know, to me, that's part of the cost that is justifiable. But I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. That's just the segue I wanted to use, and they're two connected things. So
It's increasing by like $1. So
one whole dollar.
Well, Canadian dollars. So that's like $1
You don't
American.
live in Canada.
I know. I don't know. I just realized this article is talking about it in Canadian money.
Okay.
Well, if
How
you
much
have
is it in euros?
Yeah, I don't even get me started. I don't know. It's okay. So standard is gonna be like $15.49. Basic, no HD is $9.99. 4K is $19.99. Do you? I don't know anyone who has a 4K plan.
No. Like what? No.
Yeah, no. So it's gone up like $2.
Okay, like it's not that bad, but I was just
No.
like thinking about it, and yeah, I don't know. Like
I remember
I've
when
always
Netflix mailed you discs.
this is the exact same conversation I had the other day. This is so weird.
Really?
I was like trying to justify the cost, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, why would I stop my Netflix service? I've had it since I could get discs in the mail. Like
Same. I feel like we should be grandfathered in at this point.
Seriously, between Netflix and Spotify, like
Yeah.
I should have like some kind of long-standing member clause.
I had Netflix when there was Blockbusters still
True.
around.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like I think about it, and I've always enjoyed foreign media, but Netflix is responsible for like a huge influx of it into my life over the past 5-6 years. Probably.
I could agree with that. Like, obviously, there's so many places where you can get great foreign films, but like.
Mm-hmm.
The average person isn't going out and looking for those, and Netflix making them more accessible like that. Like the whole streaming wars and everything does suck. Like because like we're pretty much paying for cable at this point again, like having to pick and choose. But like the availability of streaming does make like lesser known film scenes become amplified, which is pretty nice. I will tip my hat to that, I guess.
I like that they're attacking it on a global front too. It's like because in the beginning days of Netflix, my Netflix was just like a bunch of sitcoms, cartoons, and random crappy movies and stuff like that. And as it evolved, like their business model evolved into this more like we want to push original content type of thing. And they were in the beginning pushing a lot of original content. They still are, but at the time, it was mostly like American films. They were picking up like small filmmakers and letting them do their thing, which was really awesome. But it was like mostly stateside stuff, and then it just like grew into this thing where they were just like anyone from anywhere, here's a bunch of money, like make a movie. And that's pretty rad. I like that I have that at my fingertips. Not gonna pay $20 a month for it. Not because I don't have a 4K TV, but because like I can't do that.
That's a lot, especially because I have to have a couple streaming services right now. I mean, I don't have to, but I feel like
at this point you almost do though.
Yeah, to watch the things I want, I need.
And
Hulu,
Prime
Netflix.
is just like it's not even, to me, Prime is like not a streaming service that I really pay for, right? Because I pay for it annually, and the reason I pay for Prime is like for all the other stuff.
For Amazon's stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel that. Okay. What was the second thing on Netflix? Was there some foreign film you're going to talk about?
No.
Or am I just lost? Have I lost the conversation at this point?
We were talking about Sweet Home and this new movie.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I started Googling pictures of what we're going to watch next.
That's
we
just
can talk about next.
It's cool that I get to see these things.
Absolutely, I agree.
Without Netflix, this movie wouldn't even be a thing maybe for another 5 or 6 years. You know, Squid Game was supposed to be a thing like years ago, and then Netflix picked it up and made it real.
Yeah, that is very true. Okay, cool. Well, let's talk about the next streaming service. The next trailer we're going to talk about. So this is the thing where I got distracted because I wanted to look up a date for the Moon Knight, which we're about to talk about. How much do you think it would cost for a Moon Knight bodysuit spandex cosplay costume? Because I have a price in front of you. How much do you think it'd cost?
Wait, like for real cosplay? Like
I mean, it looks
cereal boxes.
It looks like like those like.
Legit.
There was that weird time in like our senior year of high school where everyone was wearing those green screen suits. It's kind of one of those, but with a cape.
Like $1,500.
Oh no, it's $94. That would be crazy if it was $1,500.
I wanted to aim high because like I have this vision of just like a Batman suit painted white.
Oh my god, I don't know how I got on this website, but there's one for the Green Goblin undersuit, and you look just like a goblin.
Why are you here? What are you
I
doing?
don't know. I was looking up Moonlight date, and Moon Knight date when it's coming out so I could write it down, and I clicked on a thing that was like Moon Knight bodysuit spandex cosplay costume because it was a really long title, and I wanted to know what they were talking about. So everyone, we're going to be talking about Moon Knight right now.
Specifically Moon Knight cosplays.
Yeah, specifically. We're not going to talk about the trailer or any of the media. We're just going to talk about cosplays. But no, the Moon Knight trailer dropped last night, actually, at like 7 p.m. or something. It was
During
like
Dummies Play.
Yeah, it was when we were streaming, and it was like weirdly late. I don't remember trailers ever being dropped like at night.
It dropped around 9 o'clock because when you told me it dropped during the stream, I looked for it on YouTube and it said 53 minutes before, and we got together like shortly after stream.
For sure.
So like around 9:30, I'd say.
That is
Eastern
late.
time.
I wonder if that's like their whole thing because his name is Moon Knight. And they're trying to be
what
edgy
time would
with
it have been? I mean, it must have been midnight somewhere, right?
Well, yeah. Okay, let's talk about this trailer.
There's a blood moon the other day.
Oh, really? I wonder if there's ever been a comic book about Moon Knight and a blood moon. Blood Moon Night.
Make a note of it. I'm going to write it down.
So write that down, someone.
I'm going to write it down next to the lyrics to the country song I'm writing.
Nice, good, perfect. Well, what's the title?
Of the song?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have the first 2 lines.
You know I'm going to ask you to say them out loud right now.
My grandpappy drove a Cadillac. Baby sat with our cat on his lap.
Oh, okay. I can dig it.
It's not a real country song. It's all a joke. But
no, it's real.
It's not. I didn't have a cat, and I don't have a kid.
I think most countries like songs like aren't like sung about real life experiences. Have you seen how
this like country song rhythm in my head, and we were all joking around in chat one night, and it just came out, and I was like, if I don't write this down, I'm gonna forget it.
This is my key to stardom. If I don't write down this country song right now, we are like avoiding talking about Moon Knight for some reason. We're like going way around it. Let's talk about this trailer. So Moon Knight was released last night at 9 p.m. I don't know why I'm so fixated at the time it was released, but I am for some weird reason. It is the next Marvel television show to be coming out. For those who aren't familiar with who Moon Knight is or what it is, it's the new Marvel television show coming out on March 30th. It follows the character Moon Knight, who, if I remember anything from the comics, which I never was a big Moon Knight guy, it was always a comic I wanted to read, but I never got around to it. It's a person with a DID who is also possessed by a god, an Egyptian god, which I can't remember their name right now. So it's definitely a character I didn't think we'd ever see in the MCU. I'll just say that.
Yeah, no, me neither. From what I understand, he is comparable to Batman in the way that he is like rich. Right? Isn't he wealthy?
I don't think he is.
Really?
I don't.
That's gonna make me feel dumb.
I think in one he is, but like
we'll see.
He doesn't look rich in the
Sure he does.
I think he was like a mercenary.
Isaac.
No,
this is why I didn't want to talk about the movie, because I'm about to start gushing here in a second.
Well, we're about to. So anyway, it looks this trailer for Moon Knight. We have Oscar Isaac has finally made it into the MCU. That also doesn't feel right. I feel like, has he been in the MCU before with some like weird small role?
I don't think so, but like I wouldn't be surprised. There's a bunch of random people that have played multiple roles.
And also, he's like in every single franchise right now.
I
Dune,
love the guy,
Star Wars,
honestly.
Marvel.
Him. It's funny that you see now all these people that.
He was in the X-Men movie. I forgot. He was in the bad X-Men movie. He was the villain.
There's just so many like up-and-coming actors that are showing up in multiple gigantic projects across the board, right? Like you have Dave Bautista, who's in like Dune, Marvel. He does like everything else that he does. You know, you have The Rock, who is obviously in fucking everything. The other guy we were just talking, Oscar Isaac, is in everything. Tom Hardy is in everything. It's just crazy. Like, and I think about like 10 years ago when I was like, oh, I really like these guys. Like the first time I saw Annihilation, I was like, holy shit, Poe Dameron can do other stuff other than shitty Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
And that was cool. And now...
I loved him in Ex Machina.
I don't know when Annihilation came out, but fast forward 5 years or whatever, and I'm like a big Oscar Isaac fan. I like him a lot. And
have you ever seen Ex
Machina? Was really good too. Yeah,
I think that's my. Yeah, I think that's my like his. I don't want to say his best performance, but I think that's like my favorite performance of his is in Ex Machina. I think that movie's really good.
Of course, he was in Ex Machina. He was in Annihilation. There was like a lot of. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm 99.99% sure because there was multiple actors that crossed over.
Fair.
And I heard that somewhere else.
Nice.
No Google confirmation.
Oh, he's gonna play Francis Ford Coppola in the, I guess, a biopic. That's interesting.
Dude's everywhere.
And he's gonna be Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid. What the fuck? Hello?
And now he's in the MCU, and he was in Dune. See, this is what I mean. Now,
and he was technically in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. He was Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099.
Oh, yeah, and he is going to be in the new one, too.
Yeah.
Oh.
He really is everywhere. He's like, so there's like that Star Wars curse everyone talks about, like Mark Hamill was in Star Wars, and then he never really got any like bigger roles other than animated stuff after that. Same with Carrie Fisher. And like that's like people have always called it the Star Wars curse for that reason. Oscar Isaac took that like as a fucking challenge.
Yeah,
he was like, "No, you're gonna be in everything.
I'm gonna do what I want." Man, it's funny. We went like all of 2021 without talking about Star Wars. Now we talked about it 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's okay. We're not talking about the actual movies. We're just talking about people who are in it.
I mean, we could.
I don't want to. I don't want to talk.
Well, Boba Fett was pretty good. Been pretty good.
Bonus episode of our Patreon we don't have. I'll talk about Star Wars there.
We'll do a whole side podcast all about Star Wars.
We'll watch every Star Wars thing ever, including this. Oh God, I'm not making this promise.
It's not a promise. It's just an arbitrary thing.
Yes, the trailer. So I'm just gonna read this tagline, the synopsis. Former U.S. Marine struggling. That's why I don't think he's rich. A former U.S. Marine struggling with dissociative identity disorder is granted the powers of an Egyptian moon god, but he soon finds out that these newfound powers can be both a blessing and a curse in his troubled life. We have I don't know who the creator is, but we have Oscar Isaac starring as Moon Knight, and then Ethan Hawke starring as an unknown character right now, but he's playing a villain. And
Ethan Hawke?
Yeah. From like Training Day.
Yeah, no, I know who he is.
Okay, I was gonna say.
For those of you that don't know, Ethan Hawke was in Training Day and other stuff.
Sinister 1,
the
Sinister 2.
Purge.
Yeah.
He
can be scary.
Christian Bale got cast as Gore, the God Butcher.
Ethan Hawke and Christian Bale kind of sit in the same.
That's what I was
yeah,
thinking.
they're kind of like in the same area for me.
When you said Ethan Hawke, I was just like, Is he Gore the God Butcher? But then I remembered that that's not true.
They do have, they're very similar.
Could just have easily been like Ben Affleck or something.
Yeah. So anyway, this trailer does, it looks interesting. I'm kind of afraid though. Because WandaVision also looked really cool and unique, and then they really just like missed the ball for like the second half of WandaVision. And like Moon Knight like deals with mental illness, which is something that like if Disney didn't actually get like people to like talk to and like actually analyze this illness, and if they go with like a, if they don't treat it well, it's going to be bad. And if they just make it generic, like Moon Knight never screamed generic to me. Moon Knight always screamed as this like dark, niche, like experimental style comic dealing with a person who does have a dissociative identity disorder, is dealing with these things, has different personalities going on, dealing with an Egyptian moon god, like all these really,
If I didn't know this was a Marvel comic, I would think it was like a Dark Horse comic or something.
It seems like it's a Dark Horse comic. It's because I think I don't want to speak, but I think Moon Knight came out of the 80s or 90s, and I could be so wrong. Again, yell at me if I am. But
my
it
knowledge
does.
of the source material is like non-existent.
I played him a lot in that one Marvel game that came out in the 2000s.
Marvel's Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Nice.
1975, so I was off by 5 years. But I don't know. I feel like this has a lot of potential. It could be really great. It could look really cool. The trailer looks great. Trailers can lead to not great things, because I thought the Eternals trailer also looked pretty great. And I made it about halfway through it the other night, and then I fell asleep. So here's hoping it is good.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a bunch of times. I'm kind of right where I'm at with most Marvel things. It's like, I'm excited that there's new Marvel content.
Yeah.
Hope it's good. Hope it doesn't end in a laser fight.
Right, that would be so, like... Because WandaVision should have not.
It seems like he would just die if someone blasted him with a laser.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, maybe it'll have a cooler ending.
Have you seen that one Moon Knight, like, comics panel with Dracula in it? I hope that happens.
No, I haven't. The only thing I've seen of Moon Knight is, like, his brief appearances in the Ultimate Spider-Man show.
Yeah.
Which was pretty minimal.
I mean,
very little on anything other than the fact that he was like, I run around and hit stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, he like actually like fights Dracula and stuff, so he's like potential to be really cool. I think with what the hell is the Doctor Strange movie coming out?
Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, there's a new D&D book coming out called Mordekainen's Monsters of the Multiverse, and I was getting those mixed up in my head. And I was like, how does this go again? So I don't know, maybe we'll get some cool stuff.
Multiverse of Doctor Strange's Madness.
Yeah, exactly. Which Sam Raimi is directing both. It's strange. All right. So yeah, Moon Knight. I think I feel like every time we talk about a Marvel show, it's this. You're right. We talk about it every time, and it's the same cautious optimism. It's not coming out till March 30th. Is that like when Boba Fett is ending?
Probably. And I also think it's just before. What's the other thing that's coming out soon?
Thor 4.
Oh, the other one.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yes. We were just talking about that.
I was like,
when does that come out?
That comes out in April.
Got it.
Okay, I don't know if it's May or April. It's May.
No, that's
I just looked it up.
Because Disney is fucking ginormous brain when it comes to their release dates, I think. Yeah. So I think we talked about it last week. It was like the way, spoiler alert for No Way Home and Hawkeye. It was the way that they brought in, they bring in Vincent D'Onofrio in this episode, and then Spider-Man drops, and then they do this other stuff, and then the next week is the Hawkeye finale. So, like, I foresee it being like Boba Fett ends, and then strategically as fuck, Oscar Isaac swoops in to keep the Star Wars fans roped into MCU stuff, and then he does
which are both owned by Disney, which is insane.
I know. And then when his show ends, the movie will be ready to drop. Multiverse of Madness. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like you keep seeing these delays and these pushes or this or that, and like obviously COVID had a lot to do with that, but I still think that, like, as much as I hate to admit it, Disney is this like gigantic machine of mastermindery. Yeah. And they just like they plot this shit so that it falls at certain times to like make this canonical MCU kind of like make sense for nut jobs like me that are like, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna watch it in order.
Yeah. I don't know, like, so we'll see. We're seeing this in March. We'll definitely be getting more trailers and stuff before then. Like Ethan Hawke's character will probably have a name, or not. What if he never has a name?
The nameless bad guy. The
that's his name. The nameless.
The antagonist.
The bad guy. That does sound like a Moon Knight villain. The bad guy. All right, Shayne, are you ready for this new segment I have created here that could be awful or it could be very funny? I'm calling it Letters from the Box. Are you familiar with the website Letterboxd?
No.
Okay, so Letterboxd is a website in which people can create accounts and review movies. Anyone can. You can rate it from like 0 to like 5 stars, and you can write a little review. So, with the help of some really funny Twitter accounts, I have found some of the best reviews on Letterboxd. I'm going to tell you the review and give you some hints, and I would like to see if you can guess the correct one.
Am I guessing what the film is?
You are guessing what the film is.
Have you've picked these for me, or are they hard for
I'm like
me,
99% sure you've seen every single one of these movies.
Okay. So you're not like trying to trick me.
No, and we'll start with an easy one. Okay. So our first letterbox is from username Dun9821. This is for a movie that came out in 2021. I guess you could call it a sci-fi film. They gave it 1 star. Here we go. I would want to fly myself into the sun, too, if I was in a movie with a character named Sprite.
Why do I know what the movie is, but I don't know what it is?
It is a superhero film. It is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, that's the Eternals.
Yeah, ding, ding, ding. Yes, that is right.
I was trying to think of who Sprite was. That was like the most fucking forgettable movie ever.
I know. That's why I thought it was very funny. All right. So 1 for 1. Okay, moving on to the next one. This one might be my favorite one. Okay. This is username Slipthorn. Reviewing another sci-fi film that came out in 2021. They gave it 0.5 star out of 5.
Oh, jeez. Ouch.
Give me a second. This fucking was so funny. Okay. I fucking hate Timothy Chalice or whatever his fucking name is. I hope someone punches him.
It's Dune.
It is Dune.
Timothy Chalice. That is so funny.
I fucking hate Timothy Chalice or whatever his fucking name is. I hope someone punches him. Oh my god. Okay. Now let's make this next one a little bit harder. This is by user David Sims. This is a 2018 horror film, a kind of an unexpected horror film that everyone liked. They gave it 3 stars. This is written in all caps, so I'm going to try to imitate this through with my voice. Maybe go live by the Hoover Dam or something, jeez.
Oh man. Is that Color Out of Space?
Nope. 2018. It had a married couple in it in real life. I think they're married. It was a very terrifying theater experience. It wasn't a remake. It wasn't anything like that. It was an original. It came out in 2018. It had someone from a very famous television show in it, a comedy television show. The Office to be more specific.
Oh, okay. Don't.
I'm not.
No, that's listen. Only listen. No sound. Don't make noise.
You're getting close. You're getting close. It's 3 words. It's a
quiet place.
A quiet place.
There
yes.
it is. Yeah.
So maybe go live by the Hoover Dam.
I know that one.
All right, then to round this segment off, I got one that is Oh, I got 2 actually. I forgot about this one. So this one, we're gonna stay in the horror category. This is one of my favorite horror films of all time, from 1996. This is username Haley gave it 4.5 stars. Let me get into this. I'm supposed
Haley
to be
really liked this movie.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be scared when they're hot and funny. 1996 horror film.
Is it Scream?
It is Scream. Yes, it is Scream. And the last one, which is very funny and easy. This is from username Lisa. For this 2001 action film. Does Vin Diesel's cars use diesel fuel? Was he named after diesel fuel? Was diesel fuel named after him? Did he get into cars because he realized there was gas with the same name as him? So many questions. 3 stars.
That's Fast and the Furious.
Yes, ding ding ding, you got them all right. This is gonna be a reoccurring segment. I love it. It's so fucking funny finding these letterboxes. If you guys out there find any funny letterboxes, send them to me on Twitter at FarmGoat.
That was good.
That was good. Okay, let's move on to actual ruining the movie. Oh god, I need to get the giggles out. We're
that was really
fucking
funny.
Timothy Chalice.
Someone punch him.
Someone
that
punch
is so
him.
Funny.
It really is. Okay. This week, the movie to round out our martial arts trilogy that we're doing here on Ruining Movies, starting with Kung Fu Hustle, then on to The Raid Redemption, and now finishing off with Ip Man, which I keep wanting to call IP Man for some reason.
I did for a long time, but I was told recently otherwise. Dude, now that I'm thinking about it, this is the end of the trilogy, and it's almost like a perfect end to it.
It really is. It really is. So let's talk about Ip Man. Originally, I think 2008. Let me look this up. I need to look this up. It was literally the only thing I didn't get is when it was originally released. Yes, 2008, you were right. So originally released in 2008, directed by Wilson Yip, who is a pretty famed martial arts director. He's directed some other things. I think one that I know of is called Killzone, which came out in like 2005, which was really cool. He also directed another one called Flashpoint and Dragon Tiger Gate, which I heard is wild. So directed by him, starring Donnie Yen, who has become a pretty big actor since this movie, and was a pretty big actor before then. We don't usually talk about the choreographer in these movies, but I do want to talk about the choreographer, Sammo Hung, who was the choreographer for this film. His name might not be familiar because, I mean, you don't really go around talking about choreographers when you're talking about films, but he is like a famous martial arts film director, choreographer, actor. He has worked with the likes of Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee. Specifically, he made a lot of films in the 70s and 80s and 90s with them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it tells the story of Ip Man, who is a real life person. Obviously, this movie is fictionalized a bit because there are some crazy things that no human being could do in this movie. But it takes place during the Japanese invasion of China. So like that area, like the beginning of the 1900s. A wealthy martial artist is forced to leave his home when his city is occupied. With little means of providing for themselves, Ip Man and the remaining members of the city must find a way to survive. I really feel like this movie is separated into a part 1 and a part 2.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's amazing how this movie has like 2 completely different themes. Or like,
it does tones,
I should say.
So yeah, the first, like, I want to say even half of the movie, because it feels like part one is very long.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. Is literally the city that they are, the city that they live in. It is before the Japanese occupation, the Japanese invasion, and it is in which there is just a bunch of martial arts schools and a bunch of martial arts masters in this city. It is like kind of known for that, and Ip Man is like the best of the best there. We see a bunch of cool fight scenes between him and the other masters, and he just straight up embarrasses them. Eventually some bandits come from northern China to fight like the masters, and the bandits, like, they take out like everyone, and then Ip Man comes out and just schools the bandit. We get some really great fight scenes in the first half, and I feel like the first half really feels like your traditional like kung fu film, your traditional martial arts film. It is kind of has a little bit of slapstick to it. It has some comedy to it, but it also has some of the best fight scenes in modern times.
It's honestly incredible.
Yeah, it really is. We talked about how the raid was so good last week. I actually think that these fights are better than the raid, even though I think the raid I still like a little bit more. And I think that
different.
Yep, it is different. This one feels more
type of movie.
Yeah, the raid feels more realistic and brutal and gritty, and like the fights feel more like grounded in reality. And I gotta give like Ip Man, it still feels grounded in reality, but there are some things that like definitely are played more to like comedy on stuff. And I think that really goes to the choreographer Sammo Hung, like I was talking about. Like, this is a veteran person. He came in with Donnie Yen and Wilson Yip, who are also familiar with this genre, and just made it such a solid film.
Yeah, it's clear that they really cared about telling this story in a proper way.
Right.
Because obviously, like, the real life Ip Man had influence on them.
Absolutely.
So, it's clear that they put a lot of love into telling the story.
Definitely. And I liked that the story was basic. It like wasn't convoluted. Sometimes I know kung fu films can get convoluted. Like there's like, you have to go defeat these 5 martial arts masters and like summon this thing and then compete in a tournament. This one was pretty straightforward. It was just Ip Man hanging out the first half, and people keep challenging him even though he just wants to be with his family. And then the second half, him like finally getting convinced to fight the Japanese, the karate versus kung fu, which like the movie gets dark the second half. The first half is like really lighthearted and fun, and then the second half gets really dark.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Just 2 totally different tones, and like you can see the tones reflected in Ip Man and like his actions. You know, in the beginning, he's all about playing defense, counterattacking. He never really like brutally attacked people.
Yeah, using the Wing Chun style that he popularized.
And by the second half, like, he's still using Wing Chun, but it's like he's the aggressor, man. He's breaking bones, cracking skulls, and like, the world is reflecting on Ip Man, and it's like pretty clear, and it's beautifully done, tactfully done. I thought it was really good.
We even have like a Seven Samurai Magnificent Seven style thing going on in the second half of the film, where he's teaching the different people of Fushan, I think is the city name. I
think so, yeah.
He teaches them how to do Wing Chun, and a little bit into Ip Man. For those who don't know, like I said, he is a real person. He popularized the style of Kung Fu Wing Chun, and is best known probably for being Bruce Lee's mentor. Like, that is where he that is why he's known, is like, he is the reason why Bruce Lee was Bruce Lee.
True.
Which I think in the later, like in this trilogy, or there's 4 of them, like I think like they actually have like Bruce Lee, not actual Bruce Lee, because that would be necromancy, but someone playing Bruce Lee in it. But yeah, so was this your first time watching it? Because I know it was my first time watching it all the way through.
Yes, first time. But I've heard about it many times. It's been recommended to me a bunch of times, and I just never made time for it. And we were doing this, so it seemed like a perfect way to get it in.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people say this is one of the best martial arts films of the last 20 years. I think after watching it, I would have to agree with them. I can't really think of anything that would like. The only thing I'd compare is The Raid, but The Raid is very different. Kung Fu Hustle came out like 7 years before this. That was more comedy. But yeah, I mean, and this movie started a franchise. Like, yeah. I'm gonna just like Google this real quick. How many Ip Man movies are there? Because I think there's like, I saw one that had Dave Bautista in it.
What the fuck?
And he had a weird mustache. Okay, so best order to watch Ip Man movies. There's Ip Man, Ip Man 2, Ip Man 3, Master Z, Ip Man Legacy. That's the one with Dave Bautista in it. Ip Man 4, the finale. The Legend is Born. Ip Man, the Final Fight. The Grandmaster, and Ip Man and Four Kings. He fights Mike Tyson in the third one.
Are they all on Netflix?
I don't know.
Does he fight the real Mike Tyson, or is it someone playing Mike Tyson?
It's
that is not necromancy.
No, it is actually Mike Tyson, but I don't think he's supposed to be Mike Tyson in the in like movie canon. I don't think Mike Tyson's that old.
This is getting confusing.
I think he was supposed to be Muhammad Ali. I think that's who Mike Tyson was supposed to be.
Interesting. Mike Tyson got to hang out with Muhammad Ali.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I actually just saw a clip of it recently. It was a beautiful moment.
Nice. I think like the first four though, like are on Netflix, yeah. I was trying to think. I'm like reading, like I think they're like, okay, so I think this list of Ip Man, like I think someone else was doing an Ip Man trilogy at the same time. Because some of these movies don't look like they're the same series. Like, Ip Man, the Final Fight came out in 2013, and Ip Man, the finale came out in 2019.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so two different people working on it. I'm only interested in the ones that are concerning this one.
Yeah.
Is Donnie Yen the same? Is Ip Man in every one of them?
No, not the other ones I'm looking at. Only 1, 2, 3, and 4. It looks like he's in.
Okay. So I'm gonna watch 1, 2, 3, and 4. Only
he was also in XXX Return of Xander Cage.
Wait, there was a return?
I guess they made a sequel to XXX.
Because there was a sequel. It was called XXX State of the Union.
Oh shit, you're right. This is the third one then.
When the fuck did that become a reality?
2017. Xander Cage is left for dead after an incident, though he secretly returns to action for a new tough assignment with his handler. Who is in this?
Vin Diesel? Oh, yeah. Shit! What?
Ruby Rose, Donnie Yen, Samuel L. Jackson, Toni Collette, Ice Cube.
I didn't know this was a thing. Ice Cube? He was in State of the Union. This movie was probably a fucking banger.
Dude, this movie, it has a 5 out of 10 on IMDb, which is not as bad as I thought it would be.
Wow. I'm amazed. Wow.
It won an award.
Wow. Wait, I always wondered why they didn't, like, why the fuck Xander Cage wasn't in the sequel.
Oh, I need to read the synopsis. We're going to take a break from Ip Man real quick to talk about this XXX Return of Xander Cage. Extreme athlete turned government operative Xander Cage. I watched XXX as a kid way too much. Now I'm realizing it.
Me too. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm just remember that scene where like everyone's skateboarding and stuff. It was wild. Xander Cage comes out of self-imposed exile, thought to be long dead, and is set on a collision course with deadly alpha warrior Xiang, played by Donnie Yen, and his team in a race to recover a sinister and seemingly unstoppable weapon known as Pandora's Box. Recruiting an all-new group of thrill-seeking cohorts, Xander finds himself enmeshed in a deadly conspiracy that points to collusion at the highest levels of world governments. The tagline is, this is the official tagline, kick some ass, get the girl, and try to look dope while you're doing it.
That's because that's what he said in the movie.
Yep. Yep, I know.
All right. So, wow. Okay, that's a real thing. That's so weird that that's a real thing.
Oh my god, I'm looking at some of the quotes. One is rock, paper, scissors, grenade launcher.
Oh Jesus! So it's a team up movie. He's one of the people he's gonna recruit is Ice Cube.
Yeah.
What is this? Just like the Xander cinematic universe, the XCU?
I gotta say, Triple X and the Fast and the Furious franchise are very similar.
True.
Just reading this.
Man, it's weird that there's a Fast and Furious CU.
Yeah, there's almost like 11 of them.
And Hobbs and Bacon. I mean, Shaw.
Triple X4 is in pre-production.
Why?
Triple X4 is in pre-production. Oh my god. Hell yeah.
Why?
Because hell yeah. He's also in Ark the Animated Series. Okay, we need to get back to it, man. I need to stop looking at Vin Diesel's insane IMDb page. Vin Diesel's. Vin Diesel's.
Vin diagram.
Yeah, I need a Vin diagram for all the movies Vin Diesel's in.
Do you remember the pacifier?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. Do you remember the Tooth Fairy?
Yeah.
The Rock, yeah.
Why don't they reprise these roles?
Yeah, exactly. Because The Rock's too busy being cool as Black Adam.
Yeah, stop with your lightning and get back to your fairy wings, where you're touching stories of hockey and stealing teeth.
That was the era where like all the wrestlers had those really funny, like strange children movies.
This is what I was saying. Like, if you look back, it's like they were kind of doing what they had to do, right? And now they're in the fucking MCU and all this other stuff.
The DCEU.
Yeah. I mean, The Rock, he's just everywhere. But, like, that was kind of like the beginning of his movie career. The Tooth Fairy might have been one of his first 2 or 3 movies that he made. It was really early on.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. We really went off on it. We went off on a Triple X binge right there. I think that was a discussion that needed to be done, though. I didn't know there was a third one.
Nope. We should see the 4th one in theaters.
We should. I think it's coming out, like, next year.
They should call it Quadruple X.
What do you think? Triple X, State of the Union. I don't like. They should have named it like Triple X Skate of the Union.
Skate.
Right?
Oh, that is too funny.
He was like.
But Ice Cube didn't skate.
That's true, and I guess Return of Xander Cage isn't like a cool name either. They need to come up with cooler names.
They need to come up with cooler ideas. This is just fucking James Bond with dirt bikes.
That's exactly what it is. And then he's in all the Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, going back to It Man, the movie's really good. I recommend it.
So good.
It's really good. I honestly do. It is on Netflix. It's like a good hour and 45 minutes, which I love when movies are like in that range. Whenever I see a movie that we're watching, I'm like, hell yeah. It's like I don't like. A lot of movies are over 2 hours now, and those are too much for me.
Mm-hmm. Hour 45 is like not too long, not too short, and it's really nice when you get a movie like this where it's like there's a lot of substance in that time.
There really is. It tells the entire story. It doesn't feel like I'm missing anything. It doesn't feel like I need to watch the next movie to like know what's going on. And even it seems like they didn't think this movie was going to become as successful as it was, because like even at the end it had like all the like the text was like It Man was blah blah blah, and like went through his entire life, and like you kind of don't do that if you're not like setting up something. So it was cool that this movie found success. So let's ruin it. Let's ruin this movie. So Ruin Movie Bot has been sitting in the corner of my room for the last week. I like
milling it over.
Again, I don't know why I gave it a face, but like I like put it there like when we were done with it last week, and then like I think it moved. So I don't know what's happening. But all right, let me
on the dog.
Yeah, I hope. All right. So I don't know why I put like the keypad in like to operate him on the chest, and then I have to like pull like a piece of paper out of its mouth to like get it. But let me do that real quick. So beep boop 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 beep boop. The first genre is romance. Romance, sci-fi romance, and it is a remake. We have to remake Ip Man as a sci-fi romance.
Okay.
So, before we get into this, let's cover what makes Ip Man Ip Man. The choreography, the simple storytelling, the actual, like, I forgot to talk about this when we were talking about, like, the actual story. Hollywood needs to do this with their camera more and actually, like, let us watch the fight scenes and not Michael Bay the shit out of the camera angles.
Yeah.
So we can actually see what's going on. Also, I guess, like, also martial arts has to be, like, a big part of it. So sci-fi romance remake.
Okay. I've got some ideas, but I mean,
Okay.
I kind of dominated the scene last week.
It's okay. I'm kind of blank right now. Let me start speaking so my mind can get going.
My mind goes to swords.
Swords?
Powered by crystals.
Okay. Totally not Star Wars.
That protrude a laser.
Moon battles. Okay.
But I mean, that is kind of where my head's at. Not literal lightsabers, but that kind of sci-fi, right? Where every world is settleable and you've got space transit and space weaponry. Because I love the idea of kung fu in anti-gravity. So, like,
that
on a spaceship
badass.
where there's, like, fake gravity, synthetic gravity, and you're just, like, doing your thing, but mid-fight, someone does something and the gravity gets turned off.
I like that.
It's like kung fu in zero.
So, I'm thinking now. So, because Ip Man tells the story of Japan invading China, this planet, the planet of Fukung. Nope, that's a bad one. I don't like that. Don't know why I don't like that, but I don't like that.
It sounds like fuck.
Yep. The planet of Kung Fu. I don't know. We'll come up with a name later in post-production.
We're not even trying to be serious. Is this still a biopic?
I mean, it's the future, so sure. It's about someone who hasn't existed yet. So this is a planet full of martial arts masters. Instead of a city, they travel the entire planet. Oh wow, I'm describing Dragon Ball Z now. They go around and they fight and stuff, and like the first half of the movie is like the master Ip Man. I don't know what's a good sci-fi name for like a martial arts master. Ip Man. IP Man. IT Man. IT Man. It Man. He goes around fighting all the other masters. He's like living like and secluded in his pleasure dome palace. That was a sci-fi sentence. And then the Glorglax invade with their style of karate. And the Glorglax want the Floopty crystals. the Floopty crystals, like they make the people of the Kung Fu planet mine for them, and then they're like, "Hey, fight in our cool super zero gravity arena." And then that's the rest of the film. But it's really cool.
Yes, that's our big selling point.
But
this movie really is cool. Really cool. Bright colors.
Yeah, action. not one of those sci-fi films that takes away all the colors. There's still a lot of colors, and I hate when sci-fi films make everything not colorful.
Zero G Kung Fu.
Yeah. It's Donnie Yen starring in it, Wilson Yip directing it, choreography by Sammo Hung, obviously. Obviously, this would be much better because they're in control of this and not us trying to name things very poorly, and they actually know stuff about martial arts, unlike two Western white kids from the Midwest.
Yep.
So they know what they're talking about.
I haven't punched many things.
Right. but it's cool, and it's cooler than Star Wars. I'm putting that out there. It beats Star Wars. No one talks about Star Wars anymore after this movie comes out. It's the new Star Wars.
Next year's hit new Star Wars, starring Ip Man.
Yeah. You know what? They could just keep going with Ip Man until like get Ip Man like 8, 9, and 10 and do like a Jason thing where it's like Jason goes to space. But Ip Man goes to space if they really wanted to. Oh, romance. The Glorglax kidnap his wife. And he has to defeat them in their zero gravity ship.
Zero gravity kung fu.
But it's really cool.
Super cool.
And again,
how cool would it be if Ip Man, instead of in the never mind.
No, go for it.
If in the real Ip Man, instead of it saying that he trained Bruce Lee, it said that he trained Luke Skywalker. And that was how he
We're gonna get sued by Disney for this episode. But no, it's much cooler than Star Wars. Oh god, we do this very tactfully.
No subtlety here.
No, sci-fi romance
new me.
Yeah, sci-fi romance really threw us off on this one. I think this is the first time we've actually ruined a movie. Normally we somewhat ruin a movie, like ruin movies, but make them like cool. But like this movie, like I'd still go see this movie if it was in space.
Yeah, it might be kind of cool. It's gonna be cool. That's like the main selling point.
It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. And here we'll say this too. We'll say this movie does turn out being bad, but it's because Hollywood bought it and they're trying to do a remake of Ip Man. Because it is a remake. This is how we're gonna get out of it. Remake by Michael Bay. So then all the tactfulness is like not our fault. It's Michael Bay's fault.
Okay. Yes.
So now all the bad names and like the zero gravity and it's cool being the tagline. That's like obviously Michael Bay's fault, not our fault.
Yes, and now we'll just put Ryan Reynolds in there and one of the Franco brothers, and everything will be fine.
Yes,
put them in anywhere. They can just be in the background.
They can. The Seth Rogen makes an appearance. Mark Wahlberg's also there. Boom! Coming to your theaters next year. Summer. Michael Bay presents Ip Man in space.
Planet battles.
All right. Actually, I like that better. Michael Bay presents Planet battles
for love and space.
What's more powerful than a hyperdrive? Love. Hyper love. I don't know. All right, let's get out of here. So, I was thinking this last, like, roaming the streets, wandering, really trying to figure out what are we gonna watch for next trilogy, because we're done with our martial arts trilogy, and I did a lot of thinking, and I really wanted to like, because I could keep doing martial arts films until like the podcast dies, but we do need to change it up, and so I was trying to think like, what is the opposite of a really cool martial arts film, like something that's just like full of action but like a lot of heart and a lot of cool, and I thought a lot and eventually I figured it out.
I don't like where this is headed.
It's Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson is the opposite of kung fu films. I'm not saying that Wes Anderson isn't cool. I love his films. But if you scientifically look at it, martial arts and Wes Anderson are just not in the same world.
That is so funny.
So we're going to be watching the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Nice! I haven't finished that ever. Nice. This is exciting.
Yes, we are going from Ip Man to the Grand Budapest Hotel for next week. Directed by Wes Anderson, released in 2014. I think won some awards. I don't know. I was going to originally do Bottle Rocket, but I couldn't find it anywhere. That is Wes Anderson's first film with all 30 Wilson brothers. I think there's like 2. I don't know why I said 30.
I think there's
Luke, Owen. Who's the third? Doesn't matter. We're not watching Bottle Rockets. We're watching the Grand Budapest Hotel. So that is next week. So join us next week live at 7 p.m. Eastern, either on Shayne's Twitch channel, Bring the Shayne, or the YouTube channel, Ruining Movies. Shayne, do you have any plugs?
I mean, you just kind of nailed it. I play video games on twitch.tv/bringtheshayne.
Yes.
It's great.
It is pretty great. We do, currently on Mondays, we are trying to beat games, but we are putting our own twists on them and making them really hard. We are doing a super duper hard Minecraft to play through right now, where we have made a bunch of rules that keep getting harder because I think we keep adding rules as we play just to make it harder on ourselves. If you are listening to this in audio, you can go to our YouTube channel and see my face or Shayne's face. Sometimes I put both of our faces together. Sometimes it's no one's faces. Sometimes it's my face. You can see our faces. You can also see our past episodes. If you're watching this on YouTube, I don't have the current episodes out on the other streaming platforms yet, but those will be out starting in the beginning of next month. I'm working on getting them all together just to try to reorganize stuff on my end, so those will be out. So if you wanted to listen to us on the go, if you just really want to listen to us on your commute to the space bubble where you'll see karate and kung fu fought in zero gravity, you can listen to us, maybe like wherever you listen to wherever you stream podcasts, you know. You can also go to my other YouTube channel, The Known Unknown, where I talk about tabletop role-playing games and all that kind of stuff, and it's fun. And that's it. We'll be back next week, everyone, with the Grand Budapest Hotel, so prepare yourself for a lot of pastels, a lot of quirkiness, and a lot of very stylized shots. Any last words? Again, that makes me sound like I'm going to kill you.
Not like this.
All right, that's it, everyone. Be excellent to each other.
Party on, dudes.
Woo! We made it through another episode.
Bye.
Wow, that's it, everyone.
I feel like we just barely made it through that one.
I think it was a good one.